Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to do an 8-week update on my 2023 Toyota Corolla LE. Let's get into it. All right, driving my 2023 Toyota Corolla LE, giving an 8-week update. As of right now, I have 2482, that's the miles. So just about 2,500 miles. And again, 8 weeks. We purchased the vehicle in early December 2022, and now it's late January 2023. So just a general update, and I'm going to give some quirks and features that I found living with the car here for about 8 weeks. So just to recap, purchased the car, found a dealer about 170 miles from my home, drove it home, broke the car in nice and easy, handed it over to my wife. Not that she couldn't break the car in nice and easy, but she drives for work, and she has she's gotten the miles on here pretty quickly here, and that's why we got this car. Put the miles on it, drive it every day. That's what it's for. I did change the oil at 1,600 miles. I know you didn't. I know we don't have to do that. However, that's what I decided to do. To each their own. I call it a break-in oil change. I'm a big fan of the Toyota YouTube channel, Car Care Nut. He's a master technician for Toyota. That's what he does. He does the break-in oil change, and then he does it every 5,000 miles, and that's what I'm going to do. So when I take it in for the first service, which is going to be covered under the Toyota Care, at 5,000 miles, I'm going to change the oil again, ask them to change the oil again. And I don't believe that oil change will be covered, so I'll pay out of pocket for that. But that's fine. Listen, oil is cheap. I want this car to last for a very long time, and I think that's a small price to pay. Again, to each their own. I know you don't have to do it until 10,000 miles. I understand that. So my mechanic, when he did change the oil, because I took it to my local mechanic, he said that he let it drain for about an hour. He said there were quite a few metal flakes at the bottom of the oil pan. Again, that's what the oil filter is for. I understand that. So far so good. Haven't had any rattles. Everything's really solid in the vehicle. I did have a problem with as I shared in previous video, with the steering wheel being slightly off center. I took it back the next day to my local Toyota dealer. They fixed it, but not quite 100%. So I took it to another Toyota dealer near my house, and they got it 100%. So I was happy with that. So I did spend 3-4 hours sitting at Toyota dealers to try to fix this issue, and it was finally fixed. So a minor inconvenience, but that's really basically it. There's a couple other things that I'll share later in the video that you should be aware of when buying this car. Some sounds. The engine, once you start it up in the morning, especially, it's going to be loud, and if you're not prepared for that, then you might think something's wrong. But that's normal. That's normal for this engine. Also, the parking brake, I'll share that a little bit later. The automatic parking brake, when it goes on and off, disengages and re-engages, it's loud as well. It's kind of like an electronic sound, which is amplified in my garage. But at first, when I heard that, I thought something was wrong with the car, but that's normal too, apparently. The interior has held up very well, of course. It's still a new car. It should. It's only been 8 weeks. So yeah, we've been pretty happy with it. One thing that I know people have commented on my videos was about the CVT and transmission. They weren't big fans of it, and to be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of a CVT transmission either. I think that's what you get in this economy car. And one of the reasons I went with Toyota's CVT transmission is because it's supposed to be more reliable. I thought it was going to be more reliable from Nissan for like Nissan Sentra and things like that. So I am going to change the CVT transmission at 60,000 miles. I already talked to my mechanic about that. Again, I know you don't have to do that until like 100,000, I believe. And then I'm going to change it every 60 after that. It does have a physical first gear. And then after that first gear, if you're pushing it hard, it's going to simulate shifts, like if you're merging onto a highway, or which I'll show here in a few minutes as well. After that, and it's pretty shifting right now, actually, from a stoplight here. You can hear it getting up to speed here. The CVT is great. It gives you immediate response, immediate throttle when you need the power, especially with this 2.0 engine, which again was one of the primary reasons why I waited until 2023 to get this Toyota Corolla LE base model, because it came with a 2.0 engine. The CVT transmission really throws the revs back down once you get up to speed. Now I can see it's going up to speed here. I'm going 60 miles an hour, and it's putting the revs back at about 1,500 revs. It does that for the fuel economy, and again, it gets great fuel economy, no complaints there. So it is what it is. But I prefer a traditional 5, 6, 7, 8 speed automatic transmission. Well, of course I would, but this is what you get. So we'll see. Hopefully the longevity will be fine. Changing the fluid every 60,000 miles to get as much as I can out of this car. Gas mileage has been outstanding. I just filled it up, and you can see I got 43 miles a gallon on my last tank. At least that's what the computer says. And I've got about 430 miles of range. So not exactly Corolla hybrid or Prius territory, but I'm still pretty happy with that. So the road noise, I'm going right now 60 miles per hour. If you're in the frame of mind that this is an economy car, it's not a Lexus, it's not even a Camry, you're gonna be fine. Okay, it's not the quietest car in the world. I'm able to have a conversation here. You can hear me fine, I'm sure. But there's gonna be some road noise. As long as you understand and you are at the expectation that it's an economy car, it's not gonna be the quietest car, you'll be fine. My other car is a 2010 RAV V6. And that car is louder than this car, so when I got in this car, I was like, oh, it's fine, it's quiet. So as long as you set your expectations, you'll be fine. But this car is very smooth, and it takes bumps very well. I think it takes bumps better than my 2010 RAV, and even better than the 2022 Nissan Sentra that I also test drove. For a small car, especially when it's loaded down with passengers, it takes bumps very well. It also tracks smooth now that I got the steering wheel fixed. It's very smooth, it plows right ahead, and it's a little sporty as well. Let's accelerate onto the highway here. One of the things I noticed was the engine is not very quiet. So when you start the engine up, it makes a lot of noise. Of course, that has to do with the direct fuel injection. And if you don't expect that, you're going to think something's wrong. One of the other issues that I've noticed is the automatic parking brake is loud. So I'm inside my garage, so you're going to be able to hear it here. And I can actually hear it outside of my garage too, but you can hear that, and then I'll put it into reverse, and you can hear it disengaging. That's really loud. I know it's electronic, but first time I heard that, I thought there was something wrong with the transmission. And it might be normal. I never had a car with an electronic parking brake. One quirk I noticed, if you want to call it that, is the automatic climate control. When you hit it, the AC automatically turns on, which maybe it's supposed to do that, but it's really only good for the summer, not necessarily the winter. And you actually have to go in and physically turn the AC off. But you can also turn the system on by just hitting the fan, and that will not turn the AC on. Somebody had wanted to see groceries in the back. So just did a Costco run and plenty of room in the trunk. The trick that I learned in closing this trunk is putting your fingers right here on the bottom of the trunk. Just make sure that you don't catch your fingers in there, but it closes pretty easily then. Thanks again for watching, and thank you for your comments. Please like and subscribe. I'll do some more videos later. And hey, I'd even love to get into looking at some other cars someday. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Have a good day.